The reason most people don't try to grow fruits at home is because it's generally just considered too difficult. But in this video, I'm going to change all that by showing you a fruit you can grow anywhere in the United States, whether you're on a farm or in an apartment just using a simple pot. I'm talking about growing your own blueberries at home, but they have some amazing properties, but unfortunately, most people who try to grow them make two major mistakes that ruin the experience. Instead, I'm going to show you a simple process that will allow you to grow blueberries anywhere in the United States, whether you're in a small space or a large one, that will give you berries your very first year. We'll start off by showing you how to grow just a single blueberry bush in a pot, but I'm also going to give you a sneak preview of a larger area of my yard that I'll be growing about 25 plants. The reason growing blueberries in the United States is so easy is because they are one of the few fruits that are truly native to the US. That's because most other fruits that you try to grow yourself, they don't really want to be here, so you need to adapt your environment constantly to get them to fit. Blueberries are just the opposite. They grow in every state in the US, including Alaska and Hawaii. They truly want to be here, which gives them an advantage in terms of growing them at home. Here we've got a group of about 25 4-year-old blueberry bushes. Now these bushes not only look good, they're also perennials. So when you plant these, whether it's in a pot or in your garden, you will never have to do that again. You will literally just be harvesting blueberries every year for about 20 to 25 years later. The number one reason that people fail trying to grow blueberries at home is that they buy the wrong type of shrub. If you go to your local Dollar Tree store, you're going to see these little blueberry packs that sell for about $2 to $6, but they don't grow. I actually bought 6 of them for this video. None of them grew. So the number one mistake is buying these small shrubs at these cheap stores. You will never get a good result. Instead, you want to save yourself some time and aggravation. Purchase a blueberry bush that is already between 2.5 and 4 years old. There will be suppliers near you, and there are some mail order ones as well, but those first years can be a nightmare to grow them at home. Growers will do all that work for you, but even in your first year, your berries that you will harvest will actually pay for that plant, and probably even more so. A single blueberry bush can produce as much as 10 pounds of blueberries per year. You're going to start off small, just growing a single bush in a simple container. Now blueberries can get big. They're not going to take over your patio, but between 3 and 5 feet in diameter is going to mean that you'll need a larger container. Next, you want to get a high quality blueberry bush. You see lots of green leaves, and we've already got some berries on it. Now this one is about 4 years old, and I got it from a local nursery. Look on Facebook Marketplace, and oftentimes small farms will be selling excess plants themselves. Keep in mind this small bush, even though it's 4 years old, has spent its entire life in that pot. So it does look a little bit like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but that will all be resolved once it gets a chance to grow in a larger space. Blueberries do thrive in acidic soil. Another way you can help boost that condition is to buy fertilizer products that are designed for things like rhododendrons and azaleas, and sometimes they're actually marketed specifically for blueberries. Now you can use bag soil that you get at a store, but fortunately I've got this pile of stuff here that's basically soil along with some compost, and I'm going to fill up this pot about halfway. Next I'm going to use a little bit of this Hollytone fertilizer. I'll blend it in about halfway up the pot. It's time to remove the blueberry bush from its pot. Now in my case I like to bang the sides of the pot, and then usually it will just simply slide off. Because this little shrub has spent its life in the pot, it's a good idea to kind of tear the edges of the root system in the pot. This will just encourage the edges to spread out, and they'll dig into that new soil in its new space. You should generally plant blueberries at the level of the soil, so wherever they were in the pot, you'll want to level that up with your new soil that you're putting around it. Once it's done, I can fill up the sides with soil and kind of blend it in, but again, I'm not going to cover the bottom of that blueberry base too much because I want to keep it level with the other soil. A smarter person would have done all this work on the patio where they're going to put their pot because this thing is super heavy, but I was able to move it around and relocate it to where it's going to finally sit. You'd be thinking, geez, that seems pretty easy. Guy just put it in the pot and now he's going to get fresh blueberries? Well, you would in fact be correct. That is how easy it is to grow these things, but you've got to start off with a good quality plant. You should also be aware that blueberries definitely need to be watered regularly during their initial growing season, and if they're in a pot, you're going to need to keep up with regular watering. Blueberries also need full sun. Don't put them in any type of shade. They are going to do best with that scorching hot sun, some regular watering, and you will be rewarded with blueberries on a regular basis. But now let's talk about planting blueberries in ground. Now this can also apply to raised beds, but in my particular location, I'm going to use an area of my property that has never been farmed before. Now the soil in New Hampshire isn't just rocky, it's also very hard to work on. I'm also working on a slope. Here I'm using a piece of equipment called the soil conditioner along with a bobcat to help make this job easier. I'm simply trying to get rid of the native plants that are already there. Now this soil conditioner is kind of like a combination tiller and a lawn leveler. I'm just simply trying to tear up what's on top, and you can see that it's kind of shoveling all that stuff right off the surface. There's no need to till this soil. I'm not growing something like corn where every square inch will be used. Blueberry bushes are also fantastic for pollinators. Bees love them, and it's a perfect plant to grow, not only for you, but for the environment as well. As I make multiple passes with the soil conditioner, you can see it improving every time. Now this machine takes a little bit more time than a regular tiller, but I really think the end result is better. Another reason blueberries are so easy to grow and resistant to things like pests and disease is because, again, they are native to the US. They've evolved over the years, and the varieties we have today are going to handle all of those things much better than trying to grow something like a foreign fruit on our soil that's just always going to be a struggle. Now that I've got this space prepped and ready to go, I need to bring in the plants. Now my plan for this area is I've got a small walkway so I can come down and harvest them easily, but I do plan to extend this space well beyond this, and I will continue to plant additional blueberry bushes as time allows. There are different varieties of blueberry bushes, and I would recommend that you talk to your local person who's already growing them to recommend which ones they've had good luck with. But in case you're curious, this is a combination of Blu-ray, Patriot, and I also have some Duke blueberry bushes in here just to kind of mix it up in case there were problems with one variety. I would still have the others. In-ground blueberries to do their best and grow the most berries, you're going to need a soil pH of between 4.5 and 4.9. But unlike growing just one in a pot, you're really going to need to test your soil pH. Now you've seen me use the same test kit in my lawn care videos because it simply is easy, cheap, and it's accurate. This one is called My Soil, and all I need to do is make multiple samples of the area I'm going to plant the berries. Once I do that, I can combine them together in the box, give them a shake to mix it up. When I'm done, I take 1 scoop of that sample, I put it in this container that they include, and I simply drop it in a prepaid mailer. And while I'm waiting for those results to come in, I'm going to get started planting the bushes. The huge mistake people make planting blueberries is they plant them simply too close together. These little shrubs are going to get big, and they're going to get big fast. You want to space them about 5 feet apart in their rows, and the rows themselves should be about 7 to 10 feet apart. You are going to want to mow the spaces around them, not just for looks, but you want to keep the weeds down so that they're not stealing all the nutrients from the blueberry bushes themselves. New Hampshire is actually known as the granite state. There are rocks literally everywhere. I couldn't dig even half of these holes without hitting some pretty big ones. I've got the camera placed level, and you can see the kind of slope that I'm working on. Now this just complicates doing the planting, but once I need to do harvesting and mowing, this slope should not cause me any problems, and I really think it's a much better use of the space than just simply letting weeds take over. With the holes finally done, I'm ready to put the bushes in the ground. Now I simply spaced them out, got them close by to make the job a little bit easier. I did have to do some hand digging, and I'm going to use that same Holly Tone fertilizer. While I'm putting these in the ground, I wanted to share some of my expectations for these shrubs. Now I'm putting 25 plants in the ground. One of them, of course, is in the pot. I'm expecting that they could maximum yield about 20 pounds of blueberries per plant. That's going to give me around 500 pounds per year, giving me around $2,500 of retail value of berries. If you grew just a single acre of berries, that can be valued at around $35,000 of berries. Now, competition to eat these berries can be real. You can have animals going after these things, even birds, but they do have a huge benefit already because these bushes are higher off the ground. Mice, rabbits, squirrels, those types of animals just simply can't reach those good berries. Birds and deer can get at these shrubs. My recommendation is don't go crazy up front. Your area might not even experience some of those things. You certainly can put in some type of mesh over those single plants if you want, but I would try to outgrow them. Grow enough bushes that those losses are going to be minimal. Here we can see that my pH is definitely way too high. They also show how much fertilizer is in your soil, along with macronutrients and micronutrients. They're going to recommend some products that you can use. You can order them direct, but you can also buy them on your own. In my case, my pH was around 639, and I want to get it down, so I need a soil acidifier. The one I'm going to use is made by that same company that makes Holly Tone. I will simply sprinkle that on the soil, and I'll need to check this again at least every year for a while until I'm certain the pH is pretty stable and low. Now, when you harvest your blueberries is going to vary depending where you live, but it generally can be between April through October. You're going to get a lot of berries. In fact, most people will be picking berries every single day throughout the week for about a month each year. Keep in mind that single blueberry bush can literally pay you back in fruit at almost double what you put into it just your first year. And blueberries are such a versatile fruit, whether you're eating them raw, adding them to other products, or cooking things like blueberry muffins, and they freeze super well. So that's the blueberry journey. I hope you stuck around till the end of the video. And if you're growing these things yourself, I would love to hear your experience below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Silver Symbol channel for more videos coming up.